Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Cara Delane and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings and Cara Delane.
Welcome everyone to the Fixed Ops Roundtable After Dark, and we got a bunch of cowboys and cowgirls on tonight for a special day. Ted, what happened this morning?
It is, and Tony Owens, I love your hat. So that is most amazing. So, Tully, I guess he was ready. He was going to get his hat during the break.
Wrong hat.
I thought you meant cowboy hat.
Tony, where'd you get that hat? I like that.
I had to wear a birthday hat for you, Cara.
Oh, wow. Very good. That's right.
Yep.
Happy birthday, Cara.
Thank you.
All right. So we had a great first day at the Fix Ops Roundtable. Welcome, everybody. Our amazing featured guests, just mentioned Tony Owens and Tully Williams. We have Sarah Van Tyne here tonight for the half hour. Shon Kingry from Wisconsin is with us tonight. And we have a new member tonight. Jean Ings from Quantum 5 is here. So welcome. And Sherry Stevens is in the chat. Go, Jean. Yeah, you got your own fan club, Jean. So, I love that. So, Cara, looks like we're live tonight.
We are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So hopefully everybody's sharing the video, watching tonight after the first day of the Wild West. Wow,
what an amazing first day it was. So, Cara, we started off on a Monday for the first time. I wasn't sure how a Monday would go, but we seemed to pull it off.
We did. It was a great first day, and I can't believe we have 4 full days of this. So we're just getting started.
Yeah, I can't believe it either, Cara. So we got 3 more to go. So, hey, Tully, thank you. I know you're a big part of the show, as well as everybody here who's on tonight. So, but Tully, I appreciated your observations today on Len Belavia, because I thought that was a very impactful segment this morning.
It was, I was going to tell you, thank you, Ted Ings. This thing is becoming unbelievable. The quality of guests that you have in panels this time is just over the top. And, I sent some little love notes out to my service managers and parts managers. Said, are you listening? Do we know everything? And I'm telling you, I was so pleasantly surprised that they brought back 1 or 2 comments from a couple panels that they really had a great interest in. Mr. Traver today, great tips, right? Talking about what's, the interesting things of retail coming out, some super duper panels, of course, superstar guests.
And, Sarah Van Tyne today leading off the afternoon. And Sarah, you and I kind of improvised that segment, but I thought I would ask Sarah, Tully, in this segment, who is Quantum 5 and what do you do? And I tell you, Sarah, you did a great job in explaining that, because I think we all learned a lot.
Oh, it's so awesome getting to share more about Quantum 5 and our company. And of course, Jean, all the hard work that she does with our app and with our writing. So it's really amazing to get to share more with the dealer community.
I love it. So great segment. And Shon Kingry, you were on today as well. You had a lot of compliments, Shon, on that last panel with Tully on there with the Automax recruiting, and I really like that one a whole lot.
It's funny because I visited 3 of the 7 stores today, and all 3 stores I went to, every store I went to had the panel on behind the scenes, and I got 3 phone calls from Florida today who are watching the panels on the behind the scenes. So huge, I'll back up what Tully says. Huge impact. Thank you to Cara and you, obviously. I mean, this is, I can't say it enough. I know we keep beating it up every week and say it back and forth, but definitely got Fixed Ops on the map.
Got Fixed Ops on the map. So Jean, my daughter, is here tonight, and Jean works with Quantum 5 with Sarah. And Jean, tell us what you do.
So I'm a scriptwriter for Quantum 5. So a lot of the content that you're going to see in the app is actually stuff that I got to write. And I work closely with Sarah and everyone else from Quantum 5, and I'm really excited and happy to be here tonight on the After Dark show.
That is so great.
Yeah, and you've met Sherry, who was just in the chat, and you got your Tully button. So
I do got my Tully button.
I love that. And so, what did you do for this Fixed Ops Roundtable?
All right. Well, I got to write the transitions for all of the wonderful speakers and panels for the show. It was 4 days of work, and I'm glad to have my own little part of it to help out the Fix Ops Roundtable.
That's awesome.
Now, to do the transitions, you had to have some cowboy speak, right? You had to know the lingo. I don't remember you growing up in Texas. So how did you do all that?
I know. I had to do a little bit of research and find the right cowboy lingo.
Okay.
Well, you
Kara,
did good, Jean. A girl from Texas will tell you that you did an incredible job on these transitions. And I told your dad the other day, I was like, man, how does she come up with all this stuff? Being up in New Jersey, what's going on?
I'm full of surprises.
That she is. And Tony Owens. So, Tony, how was the show? You were there all day, I noticed. And,
It was sensational. Yeah, it was a great show. I love, like Tully said, I love the last part, particularly at the end there. It was great. Just a great show with Owen. I saw that. I love that part. It was all just great, every bit of it.
Yeah, there was a panel, Tony, that happened right around lunchtime. I don't know if you saw it with Ed Roberts and with Brian Kramer and with Mike Kavanaugh from Lithia. And Tully, you mentioned Fred Forden earlier. Yeah. That was one of the highlights in the entire show, Tully. And
you went down some great rabbit holes on that, on that talk. You got into some depth in there. I mean, it felt like that was just went by, but it was a long interview. Everybody had some great thoughts in that where, sometimes they get one-sided, but that was probably, to me, was a highlight. I think Trevor did a really good job. And of course, Sarah today did an awesome job. So huge event, huge guest today. Great job.
So, Kara, we've talked about AI on the roundtable before, as you know, and there's a lot of companies in AI, Sarah, right? We've seen them pop up in the last year or two, right? But there are only two companies who recognize that most of the calls that come into the dealership, Sarah, are for the service side, right? And so of all the AI companies out there, they're all chasing the sales side, but service is getting all the calls. So the two companies, and I'll mention them by name, Stella Automotive AI was on today, and tomorrow and Wednesday, Brook.ai, which is proactive, will be on. But what I thought was really unique, Sarah, is that one of the things that Stella did today was they went and did a live session where they actually got on the phone and called a dealership that had AI, and they posed, and Ed Roberts was on there as well, and Shon Butler was on there, and Mike Weldon, Tully, was on there, and they probably posed about 25 different scenarios to the AI as they kept calling and calling back. They made an appointment, they canceled that appointment, they called to speak in Spanish. They did all these scenarios and how the AI would handle it. And I tell you, Sarah, it was kind of interesting to watch that because we had never done that before. And, there's been a lot of pushback on the AI initially from automotive. It was pretty impressive to see how quickly they picked up the call. And at least they got the call handled pretty quick, right? So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, having the tools in your toolbox that can help customers efficiently, whether it's people, whether it's technology, it's just, you can't have a system in either scenario where you don't measure and monitor what's happening.
Owen is saying the production quality was first class. So, Owen, I had a DM that came in this afternoon about an hour ago, and it was actually a complaint, Owen, about the production quality. And it said, so listen to this complaint. I won't mention the name. She writes, Ted, I have always enjoyed the Fixed Ops Roundtable content, but I wanted to share with you that I did not like the themes, okay? It limits my ability to watch because I can't have my staff or senior staff walking in my office and seeing my screen make it look like I'm watching a movie instead of being on a webinar that's educational. So that actually came in tonight. So I won't mention the person's name, but thank you for writing that because
As complaints go, that's a really good complaint.
Yeah, your production quality is that of a movie, you know.
wait till the next one with the wigs. That's all I'm going to say. Just wait till the next one. That'll be a good one.
That's right.
Yeah, and so the next one is back to the 80s, Shon, right? So
yes, sir.
And we were pretty set on. In fact, Kara's already filmed it for the day 4 to have a vinyl record as being the Roundtable. We were going down that road, but we realized in talking to a bunch of people, and it made me think, how many vinyl records, Shon, did we have back in the 80s? The vinyl was kind of on the way out in the early 80s, right?
And now it's coming back again.
That's amazing.
And that theme came from one of these After Dark roundtables. It all came from a gossip conversation. Then the wigs came out, and Amazon orders came out, and Guns N' Roses t-shirts and hats, and we'll just keep going on from there. Be prepared. They're coming.
It does. Gene, how did we come up with this this Wild West theme? How'd that happen?
I think it was actually my idea, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Good for you.
That was a great one. A great theme. I like it very much.
Yeah, I think one of my friends was having a Western themed birthday party, actually. And my dad was asking me, like, oh, what theme should we do? And I was like, well, I had a blast pretending to be a cowboy at my friend's 21st. So why not bring it to the Roundtable?
I love it.
So there we go. And you've got some big news because you got a screenwriting degree, but you had a big announcement that I heard got posted on Quantum 5 earlier today. You want to tell us about that?
I did. One of my screenplays actually got chosen to be part of a film festival. So I'm really proud of that.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Wow.
Now all I got to do is win.
So Sarah, talk to us. Steve, good evening. Sarah, talk to us about this app that Quantum 5's got. Sarah, how's that being used and how's that going to be deployed? I saw the commercial for it today. I think we're going to see that again tomorrow as well.
Yes, well, and Gene is a huge part of that. So one of always the flaws sometimes in learning when you go through a traditional learning or training experience in automotive is that it's an event that then once the training ends, it's really hard to keep the person sustained and engaged with the content or with what they went through in the class. And so our app is really a partnership between people and technology. And so people like Jean, she comes up with these amazing ideas that also come from some of our community teams. So our community managers are in the stores, they're with all of the employees at your dealership, talking to them about different challenges that they may face. And so we're able to put those scenarios into content that really helps people navigate some of the pitfalls that can happen in a customer experience. And it's really cool. So, I mean, we all have games that we play on our phones and games we play on our computers, and gaming is really part of our culture these days. And so this just takes that component and makes it where you're in an environment that you can go through automotive content, automotive learning, and really go through things that are familiar. And so the games and the scenarios and the writings, it's all very real to what happens in a dealership. And it's really cool to see. It really is an awesome environment for people.
So Tully, Tony Owens gets a hold of me the other day, and he's upset. Okay, and he's sending me some text messages. And by the way, Tony, Kara usually texts me. Tony texts me like he starts around 4:30 in the morning, right? So I call him back. I think it was at night, right? And I said, "What's wrong?" Okay, and Tully, he was going to do a segment with you, okay, and with Ed on this roundtable. But we ran out of literally, like we ran up against the clock. It was the end. There was a mad scramble, and my daughter Jean knows that. Like for the past, those last 5 days were just like intense. Okay, I'm still stuttering over it. And I said, Tully to Tony, I said, look, we got to do it early for the next event. So, Tony, don't be upset at me for that.
Man, daggone it.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, we're going to make a blast when it brings the 80s on, my good friend. I'm telling you, we are going to make it holy mackerel awesome and groovy. I'm telling you.
Well, I'm the biggest music fan on the earth, so I'm all about that.
All right.
I know you are. So Tony is over at the Germain Motor Company in Ohio, and they've been putting on this huge Tony, it's more than an addition. It's basically a whole new building, keeping part of the old one, right?
It's bigger than the old building. It's gigantic. I've never seen anything that size. When they're married them together now. Now they're one building. They're built the other one, and they're making in between. You know, it's all one building. It's gigantic. We're changing things as we go. It seems like my boss told me that we're going to do the write-up area in a different place. Right now, they're somewhere else because of the remodeling. Well, they said they were going to do the write-up area differently because we're going to have, I think he said, 10 or 12 quick lane advisors.
Wow.
And I forget how many techs. I thought he said 40, but I don't know.
That sounds like a lot of hours, my friend. I love 40.
Yes, it is.
Woo!
Shon, Shon Kingery, you got a keynote coming up, but before you do, Shon, you're on a bunch of panels. You got that one tomorrow with Sarah and with Tully on Fixed Ops magazine. Shon, that was probably one of the best ones I've seen with our friend John Fairchild on there too.
Well, thank you. That, you know what, you and I talked about it as soon as that went over. It went very smooth, and you talked about transitions. Totally, it went smooth. It was great. It unscripted, just free going. It was awesome.
And those are the best ones, right?
Yeah, that was awesome. That was the best one. I got to admit, that was a good one. Very, very, very rare that I'll text you right afterwards and go, that was amazing, and it was. So.
And you did a couple segments with our friend Ashley, okay, from Proactive and Brook.ai. Talk to us about that, because you're doing a lot of setup there at Wisconsin and getting
we
things
are.
going.
You know, we're starting at the basics. You talked about Traver. We got Traver that officially launches on Wednesday. Actually, finally, about 2 weeks behind schedule. We got X time in place, and Traver's going in place. Ashley and I are going to be together at NADA on Friday and Saturday. We're going to I think we're going to meet with Ron Overs and do a little bit of talking there. But she's been a huge help behind the scenes, and there's no question that Brook AI is going to be running real quick behind the scenes.
Yeah, they are a strong company. There's no question about it.
They're awesome.
They got the foundation there, the foundational piece, which I think is really critical. And
yeah, they did. You know, Tully and I kicked off with them quite a while ago together, and you know, we worked through some bugs. There were some bugs, partially on our fault, partially their fault. I mean, we've worked through it together, and Ashley's become a very good partner of mine, to be honest. Talk to her a lot.
And Tully, it's important that we answer the phones, right?
Extremely, you know, and that's where I think, you know, this AI now is coming out and it's getting stronger and better. You know, when you have competition, you can't just have one company. You need some competition. So let Brook and Stella battle it out. You know, as Shon says, you know, we use Brook at our stores, and we've learned some ways. But now after we dial it in, we're not going to miss those calls, especially the ones after hours. Or if someone wants to make an appointment, God bless America, they can make that appointment easily, and they're making it through our X time suite, which means that we're not going to overload or underload a shop. You know, to me, that's most important.
And X time has been a really big part of these Fixed Ops roundtables now, because no matter what you're talking about, whether it's AI, whether it's the human connection, X time is really important, and they're probably by far, Tully, the industry leader, you know, in doing those appointments.
Well, I'm pretty partial to X time. I've been with them almost from the beginning, you know, back when they were in Redwood City before even Cox bought them. But, you know, you got to have a platform that works. You got to have a platform that listens, right? And I think that, you know, service writers can't have 14 screens up, you know, and I think that when you look at a platform, when you're looking to pick something to help your service writer, we want 3 screens. You got to have the DMS up, you got to have the OEM side up, and then one other one. And that's the one we use with X time, which does our pictures and videos for our great technicians, selling those great recommendations we'd sell our family members, right? Checking the cars in and making those quotes. That's what you need, a program that works. You know, everything has a little buggish, but it's all what you put into it. You know, we are 98% on everything. And if we're not, I go crazy, just so you know.
And tomorrow, you and Shon are on with Julie Douglas from Dealer Pay.
Oh, wow.
Guys, talk to us about that one, because that's a really big panel. And Tully, you're just getting kicked off with Dealer Pay there.
Well, I'm telling you, I've been pushing for her, you know, since you actually brought her out. I think it was 2 or 3 sessions ago, right? We brought her out. This gal here just does dealerships. I got to give her a call. And we've been courting probably for a year. But, you know, we're a 101-year-old company, so things, you know, go slowly. And there's relationships with banks. And I think that when your dealer and the group that runs the store realizes that your bank really doesn't care about credit cards and they actually don't do them. Now we have a lady that our office managers were in awe. I'm going to tell you, very rare occurrence right there. They're like, when can we sign up? And honestly, that's what sealed the deal.
Wow. But Sarah and Tony, at the end of the day, we're still a people business, right? It still comes down to the people. And the technology supports the people, right? And Sarah, that's a big part of what you do at Quantum 5 as well. Use the technology. I love the explanation that you gave today. You said it's automotive learning multiplied, I believe, and then you elaborated from there.
Oh, yeah. So, people are at the heart of being able to utilize the technology efficiently, right? So, ultimately, there's got to be multiple points of engagement for our consumers. You have people when they go to buy a car that prefer to do everything online and they don't want to talk to somebody at the store and they want to figure out their quote doing it all themselves. But then you have the other person that says, I really am not confident about what's going on. I really want to talk to somebody to figure out, does my situation, how can you help me? What are going to be the things that are going to fix whatever it is that happened? And so just having the marriage of both, that's really where we see that magic happen with our customers and with our employees too. The technology, think about the employee side of things, where if you have technology that doesn't work, our employees get frustrated too. So it has to be across the board in our organization.
Amen.
Gene, I think if you ask everybody on this panel tonight if they planned on getting into a career in automotive retail, they will tell you no. Okay, that it was just something that happened maybe initially for a short period of time. Tony Owens, going back to when you and I started about the same time in retail. And Gene, they all ended up staying in the automotive business in one way or another. Gene, how did you come about? Because you just graduated in May from SUNY Purchase. How did you come about working in the car business, let alone for Quantum?
It's definitely a funny story. I think I was working on either a midterm project or almost one of my final projects where I was editing late one night in the library. And I was like, you know what? I'll take a picture, send it to my dad, have him check up on me. And lo and behold, he posts that picture on LinkedIn. Next thing I know, Dave O'Brien is reaching out to me and saying, oh, we need a script writing intern for Quantum 5. And I've been with them for a year now and I work full time. And honestly, if you asked me a year ago if I'd be working in the automotive industry, I would call you crazy and I'd walk the other way. But here I am. And you know what? I'm happy to be here.
I love it. I love it.
Way to go, Dad.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you were an intern for Quantum for how long?
6 months. So I think I spent 6 months of my time at Quantum as an intern, and the past 6 months I've been full time. Yeah.
That's great, man.
And is that where you met? You heard of Sarah before, and of everybody here, but that's the first time you met her, right? I think
so. Yeah. I remember, we live in the same house, so I've definitely heard Sarah's name before, but I don't think I actually got the pleasure of meeting Sarah before I started working for Quantum.
Wow. And so I know you interact with Dave Foy and with Dave O'Brien, and so now you're full time. Since when did you go full time?
I believe I went full time in June. I want to say, June or July.
All right, and how do you like doing these scenarios? That's. And by the way, you and I have gone with your car in for service, right? Maybe not recently, but maybe like late last summer, early fall, and we went in for service so you could experience some of this stuff for yourself.
I know, it's definitely been a wild ride. I think I've learned a lot over the past year working for Quantum, and I gotta thank my dad, of course, a lot for helping me out, especially the first couple months. I think I had a lot to learn, and I feel like I have more of an insight now on all things automotive than I did a year ago, which of course helps me in my position at Quantum. And it's nice to be able to have something to share with my dad, and of course, working for Quantum has been an amazing experience. And yeah, I'm really happy to be here.
So Peter Carasona is in the chat. He's going to be speaking on Wednesday, and Peter's with Vision AST. We saw your commercial today, Pete, and we'll see it again tomorrow. Pete, my daughter, I invited her to that first New Jersey Roundtable in November 2019 when Brian Benstock spoke, and she wanted no part of it, just so you know, of going to that. But anyway, it was right around Thanksgiving, and Brian won the Best Practice Award, right, Shon? So we had this award, and I had to deliver it to Brian. So when I picked my daughter up from college, where do we go, Gene?
We went right to Brian.
We went to Queens, New York,
yeah.
and you met Brian, and we were in his office. We were sitting down with Rachel, and
yeah, I think I was the one taking the video or the picture of you giving him the award.
That's right. You were the camera person for that whole thing, and so what'd you think of that operation in Queens, starting with the parking? How'd that go?
Oh my goodness, the parking. I don't think you can just speak a lot to it because there wasn't any.
But anyway, so, and then we went over to Mark Mickens, and you met him at Mercedes-Benz of Paramus, right?
We did, and I remember really liking that dealership there. It was very beautiful. They had big glass windows. It was a nice sunny day. Yeah.
All right, so Shon, you getting things going up there at Madison, Wisconsin, and what's next? I know you got a big week here on the Roundtable coming up. But
the Roundtable is this week. NAD this weekend, obviously. It'll be, like I said, be there Friday and Saturday. Hopefully get to see most of you there. Kara, are you going to NAD this year?
I'll be there. It's in Texas, of course.
Of course you are. Sarah, obviously, I'll get with you there. And
Shon, I'm leading up to any publications you may be in, Shon.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot about that. Sorry, Ted. Yes, I'm honored. And, I do got to give shout outs to, like I always do, Ed and Sarah and Tully and Ted and Kara, obviously Ron Overs, guys. Ted, for a long time that's been on my bucket list, so it's a big honor. I'm humbled by it, to say the least. Big stair step in my life. That's all I can say. Huge step.
Amen.
All right. I know we're going to unveil. I think we're going to unveil it tomorrow on the panel, but I think it's out already, right, Shon?
It did. It came out today and officially an email. I got the posting. It's you and I got the posting on Friday, but officially the email came out today, and I think the magazine gets released on Saturday.
That's great.
All right, so there he is, the process agent, Shon Kingery. So very good.
Sir
So congratulations. And now I know Joe Lockhart was asking about this Sir thing. So that's how you become the Sir, is being on the cover.
That also, by the way, started on one of these events. That's I believe Tully. We named it the one you got named, and then all of a sudden the Sir thing stuck, and it's been there ever since.
So am I Sir Sarah?
You are going to go there. We'll leave that alone, Sarah. We'll leave that alone.
No, I'll take it.
Queen Sarah.
Queen Sarah.
Queen Sarah.
All right. Well,
hey, Gene, you need to turn your hat around for Kara real quick.
Oh my goodness, how could I forget? Right? Kara, this is just for you.
I love it.
Who's the winner?
Perfect. Tony, where's your hat?
All right. So the big event this week is continuing tomorrow. It is the Fixed Ops Roundtable. And Kara, tomorrow is day number 2. Is that correct?
It is day number 2 of the Wild West. So hopefully everybody already got their complimentary ticket to watch us today. But if you haven't yet, you can still grab a ticket at fixedopsroundtable.com, because we still got 3 more days of the Wild West to go.
It is the only event, everybody, dedicated to fixed ops. It's the only real fixed ops event. So if you are a fixed ops aficionado, you want to be at the Fixed Ops Roundtable tomorrow morning at 9:00. And we're going to get to hear from a lot of folks tomorrow, including these folks who are here on the screen today. And you all recognize, of course, Sarah and Kara and Tully and our friend Ed Roberts as well. And that's going to go on through Thursday. So we're excited about that, excited about welcoming everybody back. And thank you, everybody, for all you do. And a couple more days ahead. So Shon, Tully, Gene, Tony, and Sarah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ted, so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Super.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for everybody watching tonight. And we will see everybody tomorrow morning, like Ted said, at 9 a.m. Eastern for the Fixed Ops Roundtable, the Wild West, and catch us on Wednesday for the After Dark show.